Welcome back to another episode of the Evolving Beyond podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today we are talking about Saturn Return. If you don't know, it is my birthday month, and I love birthdays. I feel like there's two sides to birthdays. There are people who go all out and really enjoy celebrating them. And then there are people who are more indifferent about their birthdays. They don't really care. I'm one of the people who thinks birthdays are a really big deal. And not just my birthday, but birthdays of everyone. I think if it's your birthday, it is a big deal because that literally means that you have lived a whole another year. It's worth celebrating the fact that you're still here, you're still alive, you are thriving, you are learning, you're growing, you're evolving. I think that's something to celebrate. And so I love birthdays. Anyways, getting back to Saturn return. So I am really in the thick of my Saturn return and thought I would just share a little bit on what is Saturn return, what I thought it would be, and just my experience so far. And I guess just some words of advice to anyone else who's in the thick of it. So what is Saturn return? In astrology, Saturn return is when Saturn makes its first complete orbit around the sun during your lifetime. So it takes approximately 27 to 31 Earth years for Saturn to make a full orbit around the sun. Saturn is the planet that rules discipline, karma, timing, responsibility, all of those things. So typically when this Saturn return happens between the ages of 27 to 31, a lot of people experience big life changes. Usually there's a big shift in your identity and just everything that you know as your current reality makes a major change. The way that I was introduced to Saturn return was from some friends who were into astrology. They were a few years older than me. So they were actively going through their Saturn return while I was still in my younger 20s. And from the way that they described it, it sounded very scary. You're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose all your friends and your family, and everything is just going to blow up. Saturn return is your cosmic transition into adulthood. It's when you really start to anchor into the identity that you're going to have for the next few decades until your next Saturn return around 55-ish. So for me personally, I really started to feel my Saturn return when I turned 26. When I turned 26, I had this huge party with all my friends, and it was the best birthday I have honestly ever had. You know, when you have those moments where you're wow, this is my life, and you're literally just in awe. That is how my 26th birthday felt. I just felt so overwhelmed with love and gratitude for the people in my life and the experiences and just everything in that season. I felt so full of joy. Girl, after my 26th birthday, you could not tell me from 26 to 27 what was going to happen in my life. I left my job. I lost friends. I just experienced so much loss of identity where I kind of felt like I was going through something that they call a dark night of the soul, where you're feeling really lost. Now being 27 and about to turn 28, I feel like I have really just started to come into my identity. It's I'm getting to that point again where I'm understanding why the things that happened had to happen and why the transitions that happened in my life happened at the time that they did. And I feel like I'm finally getting back to clarity and that vision of what I want my life to be. So I feel really good going into 28. I know I'm halfway through my Saturn return. There's still a few more years ahead of me. But you know how whenever life knocks you down, but then you are on the other side of it and you feel so much stronger and wiser and capable? That is the season that I'm in right now. Something my mom always said was she loved her 30s way more than her 20s, because as she was getting into her later 20s, early 30s, she had such a better sense of who she was and her identity. And I never understood it until really recently, where I'm wait, I feel really secure in who I am. I guess, just getting a grip on my identity and feeling confident in it and showing up in the way that I want to and being clearer on the things that I want in life. It feels so good to be here. And yes, there were struggles. Like, don't get me wrong. There were struggles. There were hard times. I cried a lot. From 26 to 27, I cried a lot. I cried a lot this year too. But also I'm a Cancer, so maybe that's why. But I wouldn't change anything that has happened because I know that it has brought me to the point that I'm at right now. And I'm grateful for the experiences. So, to anyone who is coming up on that 26 to 27 age range, you're coming up on your Saturn return, I would just say don't be afraid because everything truly is working for you. And there are going to be moments in your life where you feel like you're on top of the world. And then there are going to be moments in your life where you feel like it's hard to get out of bed. Just take the days as they come. Enjoy those moments where you are in awe of your life. Capture them, hold on to them, experience them fully. Thinking back about my 26th birthday, like so much has changed since then. There's a lot of friends in my life that are no longer a part of my life. And even though they are no longer in my life, I can still look back at those memories that we shared and wholeheartedly still love those moments because I know that where I was at that time was exactly where I needed to be. The people that were in my life at that time were exactly who I needed in my life at that time. And I will forever be grateful for that season of my life. And I think overall, that is just what Saturn return is teaching me, is to just really take in the season of life that you're in. It could be a really good one. It could be a really tough one. Just take it in, take in the experience, take in the lessons, because all of this is shaping you into the best version of yourself. So anything that you're about to go through in this season, there's a reason for it. You may not be able to see it until a year from now, a couple years from now, but just know that there is a purpose. And in hindsight, you'll understand why everything is happening the way that it is. If you're in the thick of it, just hold tight, trust the process, let yourself experience the emotions as they come, because that's a part of being human. Give yourself grace, start your day with gratitude, end your day with gratitude, and you will get through your Saturn return. And on the other side of it, you will be so much wiser and so grateful for the experience that you went through. So yeah, that's my take on Saturn return up to this point. I would say there's been a lot of heartache, but there's also been so much love and great experience that I've had from it so far. I can't wait to see what happens over the next few years, but I guess I'll check in and we'll see how it's going. So yeah, I know that I got this and I know that you got this too. I believe in you. I'm rooting for you and I can't wait to see the great things that you do. Talk to you next time.